But Jin-Woo finally joined the police force, and at this point, he's like 30 years old. The man has entered his prime. And all the other cops and departments call him the Ghost because nobody can ever keep up with where he is. They got this new recruit who just joined up. Jin-Woo's gonna take him out and mentor him for the day. This has to be the best looking version of Jin-Woo. No Diddy, no pause, fuck all that. This is the best one. He asks him, why'd you become a cop? It's of course because he wanted to catch bad guys. So bet, that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's go. After spending the day with him, Buddy is exhausted. That boy Jin-Woo a workhorse. But while he's at his computer, he overhears this girl yelling about how her friend wasn't the type to commit suicide. The cop is saying, I feel you, but all the evidence points to her taking her own life. So of course he interjects saying, let me take a look at this. And just looks over the entire report. She was found in the bathtub. She died from blood loss with large wounds on her wrists. The knife that was used was found in the bathroom as well, and the only fingerprints in there were hers. He says nothing looks strange here, but I'm still gonna take a look at it myself. But they're like, oh, it looks like the Ghost is onto something again. And he introduces himself as Detective Sung Jin-Woo. My man's is all glowed up like, look at this shit. And then it cuts over to this empty apartment when Jin-Woo's shadow appears, and it's the house where that woman died. So he's just looking around for clues and goes in the bathroom where you can still see the bloodstain. He says, I used to need corpses in the past, and now all he needs is DNA? And he says it, arise. Just resurrects the dead girl from a bloodstain. What's even more cheating, again, he can just talk to her. He just asks her straight up, did you take your own life? And she says yes. Of course he asks why, and as she starts to explain, he cuts over to her dad's house, and Jin-Woo's pulling up on him to talk. He opens the door stressing like, how did my daughter die? He says, we're still not sure, I'm trying to get some more information, and wants to take some time to talk to him. They go to this cafe, and he asks if anybody had a grudge against his daughter. He says, no bro, she was sweet and as innocent as a child. I still can't believe that she would kill herself. Now she wasn't his real daughter because he adopted her, but he loved her just the same, even more so than if she was his daughter. So Jin-Woo slides him the phone and says, listen to this for a second. It's just a recording of her crying about how he was abusing her since she was a child. No matter how far she tried to get away from him, he kept texting her and sending her messages saying he missed her. Eventually, she just took her own life to not have to deal with it anymore. He's like, why are you letting me hear this? If you were gonna arrest me, you could have just brought some cops, handcuffed me, and took me in. He says you have two choices. You can admit your crimes and turn yourself in, or you will have to pay a reasonable price. He's like, bet, how much is enough? She just wipes the smirk off Jin-Woo's face. He says, all right, listen up. We aren't even in the real world right now. This here is my domain. He's confused, like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, think, bro, do you even remember coming to this cafe? He's just now realizing that they're the only ones inside of this bright ass building. He starts screaming like, who are you? Like, this gotta be a dream, right? And he just goes to run for it, but that don't work. There's no way out of this one. You're done. And the ants got their hands on him. You already know how they get down. They just rip Buddy to shreds right then and there. The girl appears thanking Jin-Woo and calling him her liege. She has one more favor to ask as it cuts to the police department the next day. And Jin-Woo's giving her friend this gift she was supposed to get. He tells her it doesn't look like a murder and she's just disappointed. As she's shaking, she opens up the gift. It was for her birthday that they were supposed to celebrate. She ended up taking her life like the day before. All because her adoptive father kept texting her wild shit. So it cuts to bro saying he's gonna propose to Jin-Woo's sister. Look at his face. He's like asking for advice about the jewelry and shit, but Jin-Woo don't know about nothing like that. He's planning to give her a bunch of gifts, like pay for her medical school and build a big ass hospital just for her. He realizes it's the 30 billion won building that he used for the guild in the lost time. He's like, bro, you don't gotta try this hard. Just be yourself and the shit'll work out. He's like, bro, can I give you a hug? And he says, nah. He just jumps through the table and tackles him anyway. So Jin-Woo comes home after a long day of being a cop. Dae-in in the crib just waiting on him, and now he has a whole son. How does it feel to live my dream? He says what's he still doing up, but lil bro took a long nap. He asks what's wrong because the shadows are arguing in the background. He's bellying trying to start training with the sword skills, but Eager's saying his grades are more important. Jin-Woo's just like, bro, can y'all wait till he starts walking first? It's just positive vibes, good energy, you know, love all around. Then it cuts to the next day at the department. The chief is calling him in to talk. And ooh-wee, that boy Woo Jin getting old. Still addresses him as Hunter Sung. Come on now, you know I'm not a hunter no more. He called him in because the father of the girl who committed suicide has gone missing. So, do you know anything about this? But he's like, nah, I ain't got no clue. coincidentally, all the cameras have errors at his house. Oh, damn, what a coincidence. He's like, bro, whatever you do, I trust you. Now, the real reason I called you here is because the chairman is on his last leg, so you might want to go see him. He's just in the hospital and it's not looking good. Yeah, grandpa's on life alert. He uses his shadows to pull up, and he still notices him immediately and asks him to take off his mask for him. Well, it's good to see you. You've come again, young man. I've actually been looking for you for a while. Now, Jinwoo offers to cure him, but he says, I've lived a long life. I did everything I had to do during those 10 years you gifted me. So that's enough for me. I actually want to ask you a favor. Back then when you saved me, you said there was a world where I fought alongside you. As he forces himself to sit up, is it possible for you to show me that world at all? Or wants to see how he was back then? I want to know how I looked and how you looked too. He's like, I don't know, there were some traumatic memories. He says it's all good. I just want to rediscover the memories I've lost. After looking at how old he is, he's like, that fine, fuck. And just by grabbing his arm, he unlocks all the memories he forgot. Being the chairman, Sha Hae-in's feelings for him, the way they worked together, how stern he was morally, and the time where he died in Jinwoo's arms. He's like clenching his chest and just starts crying his eyes out. He loved being with young heroes like him. And in the warmth of this beautiful sunlight, even if I become a cold corpse, this honor will be in my memories forever. And he just fades away in the warmth of the sunlight. And again, dying in Jinwoo's arms while he's crying. But this time it's not as sad. Still kind of sad though. Jinwoo says that he's a hero too. After he leaves, he gets a phone call, and it's from Sha Hae-in, who sounds panicked, saying, bro, come get your son. This kid is flying around my house. So he's like, what? But she says it again. He's like, okay, I'll teach him how to fly step by step. She's like, wait a minute, I ain't even know you could fly. We can still just hear Suho wrecking shit through the phone. He's gonna go home early today. And RIP the chairman. When fall comes, winter follows, and then so does spring. Since the young lord can fly, he should learn aerial combat. What are you talking about? This means that he'll be an excellent pilot when he grows up. Yeah. Now, Biru is just confused because his whole life he's been a killing machine. The only person that wasn't scared of him was Jinwoo. So now he just doesn't know what to think when his adorable son is just fawning over him. Like, he's not scared at all. Bro is in love with this nigga. Wherever he goes, Suho is following right behind, asking for him to pick him up like 24/7. So he's confused, like, why is he always looking for me? But Igris is like, bro, there's no way he'd hate you. You're a giant ant that's bigger than people, and you're talking and you can fly. Like, what child would hate that? So the little lord likes me because I'm big and can talk and can fly. So Biru goes into the world of rest, telling this guy they need to adjust their plans. They built a big ass statue for Jinwoo. They got skyscrapers in here constructing monuments to his glory. He wants to make some changes to the project in progress. So should I call back the demons that created the statue? So Isel and her people made it for him, and Biru says, bet, do that. But then it cuts over to all these criminals in a car pulling up outside of Jinwoo's house, trying to get revenge for one of their fellow criminals that Jinwoo killed. So they all go to get out the car, but the second these two step foot on the grass, they notice that the other two with them are already missing, saying they must have got scared and went back. But that is obviously not the case. Shh, I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. But come on now, the little lord is sleeping. You can't be interrupting his rest. So he just completely crushes their heads, I guess. And it cuts back over to the world of rest, where Isel and her dad pulled up to work on the construction. They changed the statue, so now he's holding Suho. Everybody starts cheering and shit. And Biru, happy as shit, just can't wait for Lil Man to see it one day. But then he hears the giggling behind him. I'm not sure how he got into the shadow world, but hey, he is flying around and shit, so Lil Bro got it. But then it cuts over to his school, and the teacher is worried about him, saying that his drawings of his friends are concerning. And of course, he's just trying his best to draw the shadow soldiers. And Sha Hae-in doesn't really have a good way to explain it. Literally, all the friends he drew are just giant shadowy figures. And we've never seen a student do no shit like this. And in this last picture is why I called you in today. This bro just drew the entire house shrouded in shadowy figures with their dad and everybody. It's a whole big family. But Sha Hae-in just plays it off like, hey, he might just have a high aptitude for art. Then it cuts back over to the police department, and Jinwoo's been promoted to chief of the department. So everybody's congratulating him, and he's asking why he didn't take the job sooner, but he just simply didn't have an excuse to decline it anymore. He's like, bro, don't you want to get promoted to make more money? But Jinwoo's thinking he don't have a clue. I am the bag. And he makes more on his own than entire law firms. Then it cuts to him going home that night, and Sha Hae-in's telling him about the problem at school. He just starts chuckling because this shit is funny, but she's actually concerned because the other kids are scared of Suho. Even if he doesn't bother them, they just scream from being close to him, because kids are more sensitive, so they must be able to to feel the power coming from him. Now the power got passed to Jinwoo, so it didn't develop into a disaster. Because usually in order to destroy everything an otherworldly god has made, they hide a horrific power inside their most trusted servant. If the power of the Shadow Monarch is gradually increasing inside Suho, he's just inherited the power without knowing, it's going to be impossible for him to live a normal life. Jinwoo decides it's best for him to erase all his memories of the Shadow Army and to restore them later on when he's ready. He takes the drawing and gives it to Biru. Wait for it. Bro starts crying. My liege, may I please say goodbye to my little lord? He busts in the room, bawling his eyes out. Little lord, I will say farewell for all of the shadows. And he's just muttering Commander Ant in his sleep. But until we meet again, my little lord, please be well. Jinwoo just reaches over saying sweet dreams. Again, bro just has all the powers and wipes his memory. Then just like that, they show the time passing and Lil Bro putting on a backpack as a bunch of these students gather as Drippy Woo Jr. is going to high school. So Jinwoo has a son, Suho, and now he's going to high school. Like always, the students are trying to set some kind of hierarchy, using eye contact to determine if they're going to be cool with someone or not. Bro with the red hair sitting in the back of the class, Suho notices him out the corner of his eye, just looks at him like, what? He really tried to get up and fight off of that. Then Yo stops him because he went to middle school with him, saying it's best to leave Suho alone. He looking at him crazy like, yo, you want to get your ass whooped? It cuts to the outside. He is just beating the brakes off of the guy that stopped him. So he's asking, who is Suho for you to be acting like this? He says he was the strongest guy in his middle school. He's somebody that we can't mess with, bro. I'm trying to tell you. He's like, bro, stop glazing, and just keeps beating on him. Ain't no way he that special, and I haven't heard any rumors about him. But then he says, Sungho, let's say it was you this time. As Drippy Woo Jr. walks down on them. He says, yeah, I'll take the blame for this one. He's just confused the way he walking up on him. He just kicks this one in the stomach, sends him flying backwards, and kicks the other dude in the face. Bro thinks he's Sanji. He tries to come back and hit him with an uppercut, but he just calmly looks at it, just blocks it away with his foot again, telling you bro wants to be Sanji. Put the straight feets on him. I've never been kicked in the face, bro, but that shit gotta be ass. He just walks away saying, I'll leave the rest to you. The word is getting around school that he just beat up 3 students. The whole time, shit is just feeling dull to him, like he feels like something's missing. He knew about more surprising and exciting things. Dad, whatever, since I'm bored, I'll just go to the cafe. But as he tries to leave, the door just won't budge. And when he looks out the window at everybody, nothing is moving, like the ball is frozen in place and everybody stopped. It's like time has been frozen, so he's trying to figure out what happened. Then this gate opens up in the classroom. He just doesn't know what he's supposed to do. Mom always said I took after dad, so what would he do in this situation? Yep, that's about right. Or just walked right into a portal even though he had no idea where it went, what it was, or what the fuck was going on. And now that he's inside, he want to ask where the hell I'm at. It's too late because the shit closes right behind him. He just does not care. Welp, looks like I gotta go forward. He grabs a torch to keep walking. He arrives at what looks like an armory. He's surprised by these displays that pop up to show the stats of the weapons. So, this shit is like a game. Are these weapons here because they're ass? He's saying they all look weak. Then he notices these gauntlets like, knives and daggers are pretty cliche, so he throws on these joints, and it feels like they make him stronger. This status window pops up, and his title is the Little Monarch. He's still just walking through the castle. As he's passing by what looks like statues, one of the knights cocks that bitch back, swings for the fences trying to take his head off. He was able to sense it at the last second and block. Now he's kind of shook because, hold up, this shit is real. Hold up, let me lock in real quick. He knocks it back off of him before unleashing this barrage of punches, just breaking it to pieces. And now he's the one leveling up. And he remembers there were a bunch more of them on the way here. And right on time, they come down the hall booking it. I mean, this is what you wanted, bro. You just walked into a random portal you didn't know anything about. So he gets them mitts ready and just starts pummeling through them all. Goes up 3 more levels in no time. And of course, the monsters are still coming. The boy is just like his damn daddy, just doing them in and kicking them around. Just like that, he's level 19. He can feel himself getting stronger, saying it's really like a game. He's got his thinking cap on, trying to figure out how strong they are and how he was able to beat them when he was at level 1. It must be because of this power surging inside of him. He keeps pressing forward because he wants to get stronger and opens up the door to this boss room. We're met with this awfully familiar sight. He walks into this throne room and sees this black knight sitting in the midst of it. And like always, Igris wastes no time getting out his chair, grabbing the blade, getting ready for action. He says, I gotta attack first, but I don't think so. Igris blitzes the shit out of him, slashing him, in the big lightning impact, and holding the pose for good measure. He just killed Jinwoo's son. He wakes up like it was a dream, but he's not back in the real world. He's right where he started.